I have a secret for you. Feedback, it is not always a gift. Welcome back, friends. This is your place for cutting edge tools, exercises, best practices, and modern leadership strategies. Because when the world is changing, it's time to bring our leadership styles along for the ride. Whether you're a company leader, a corporate visionary, an entrepreneur, this show gives you new insights into the neuroscience and the language of leadership, plus practical steps and tips to lead your teams in a powerful way. It'll also help you keep your people happy and engaged, all while achieving your biggest goals. I'm your host, Jen Thornton. I'm a talent strategist, a brain-based executive coach, speaker, and the founder of 304 Coaching. Now let's fix leadership. We have been told a million times, feedback is a gift. But what if it's not a gift we want? What if it's a gift that doesn't fit, or a gift that will try to change who we are and what makes us powerful? Too often, feedback is given without thought of what the gift should actually be. What makes us powerful is often what gets us in trouble. And too often, feedback teaches us to dull our superpowers because we aren't managing the other side of it. So, what does all this mean? How do you know if the feedback is a gift or is it feedback trying to dull what makes you great? So, let's look at some examples of some quote unquote feedback that is actually trying to tell us to start to manage our strengths, not to be who we are. So, example one, say you're a highly creative person and you love looking for new, innovative ways of doing things, but you have so many ideas that people think you're talking too much, or you only like your own ideas, or you go after too many priorities. The feedback might be you are trying to do too much, you aren't a good listener, or you don't know how to prioritize. And that's not what the feedback should be. The feedback should be, hey, one of the things that makes you so talented is your ability to see what's possible. I don't want to lose that, but I would like you to manage where you put your creative energy so we aren't chasing too many things and doing nothing really well. Now, that is feedback that helps you learn how to situationally manage what makes you a powerhouse. Let's look at another example. Say you're a very process oriented person and it's your job to be that way. It is what makes you great. But when working with cross functional partners, you get the feedback that you're too worried about the process and not focusing on the big picture. What the feedback should be to everyone at the table, not just you, is that everyone's superpower comes to the table. It sounds different because of the different ways we do work and the different strengths we have at this table. But everyone's voice matters. And not only do we need to know the big picture and the how or the what we're going to do, we also have to know the how. And the how is that process. Or the feedback could be, we love that you're process oriented. Start with the big pictures of where you're going and landing, and then give me 2 or 3 bullet points on how you're going to get there. Again, it's not asking you to not be who you are because then you wouldn't be great. That feedback is saying, here's how I need you to situationally manage it in this time period. Maybe you have high context, and this allows you to be highly strategic because you take the time to understand where something has been and what did and didn't work. And that is powerful. But when working with others and when you communicate, you focus on catching people up before you talk about the future. And you get feedback that you're too focused on the past and not focused on where you want to take a project or an idea. This is not true about you, not at all. It's just that not everyone has a need for context and they don't need to kind of know where they've been. They're only focused on where they're going. In this situation, the feedback could be, I appreciate you doing the background work on this problem. I know that you did it well. You always do. Can you provide me with where you want to take the project today and tomorrow? Again, it's acknowledging that you wouldn't be great without this superpower of context. And it's not asking you to dull it. The feedback is asking you to situationally manage what makes you amazing. Let's take a quick break from the conversation. Do you have new leaders on your team and you can see their potential, you can see their runway, but you cannot figure out how to get them across the finish line? Reach out to 304 Coaching and learn more about our brain-based, competency-focused executive coaching. And as you can see in all of these examples, if you acted on the feedback, you would be changing what makes you a powerhouse. And in some situations, possibly feeling bad about your strength. And that is not a gift. I can't tell you how many coaching sessions I spend helping people regain their superpower because they've received feedback on the other side of that strength. They've been told their strength is actually bad and they have overcorrected. They have gone so far in trying to manage that gift of feedback that they've taken away what makes them great. So what do? You can't ignore the feedback, but you can always ask yourself if this feedback is the backside of what makes me great. And if it is, learn how to situationally manage what makes you great, and so that you're even a bigger powerhouse than you already are today. Now, to be able to ask yourself this question, you need to do a little work. You first need to know what your strengths are. And it's really a great exercise to write down your skills and why they make you great at who you are. It allows you to own your strengths in a whole new way. And if you're struggling to think about what your strengths are, ask yourself, what do I get feedback on? What did I get in trouble for as a kid? What do I love doing? All of those things are probably your strength because our strengths are big, they're powerful, people notice them. And knowing what people notice is really important to helping you identify your strengths. Now that you know what your strengths are, I want you to own it. I want you to wear your strengths. I want you to walk tall while wearing them, but know that your best friend can also be your frenemy at the same time. Now, to manage the frenemy side, take that same list of strengths and then ask yourself, what does it look like when I overuse them or I'm not situationally manage them? This allows you to create a whole new superpower, and it's called harnessing your strengths. When you can turn your strength up and down like a dial in any given situation, they become even more powerful. Okay, that's a lot, but now I'm going to take a little turn here. We've been talking about you, but you're a leader too, and I'm sure you give a lot of feedback to others. Now you have the opportunity to ask yourself with every piece of feedback, is this the backside of this person's awesomeness? And does this feedback help them learn how to situationally manage? Or am I asking them to dull their superpower? Am I asking them not to do what makes them great? And if every leader out there knew what their superpowers were, knew how to situationally manage them, and then always gave feedback to someone that was usable, it was situationally managing, helping them lean into their greatness, but in a way where it's managed in every single situation. So it's always showing up in a positive way. If all of us out there as leaders could do these two things, well, then we'd be fixing leadership. Thanks for listening to Let's Fix Leadership. By hanging out with me today, you're already on your path. If you're looking to learn more and to see if your company is a good fit for our coaching and leadership education, then hey, visit 304coaching.com. If you got value out of this podcast, share it with a friend. And it would mean the world to me if you would leave a thoughtful review and a rating on iTunes. Thanks again for listening, and I appreciate your work in fixing leadership.